friends, they can watch the recording. I think our capacity is full. So I'm not sure if any of your other friends, if they're trying to join, they might not be able to join because I think the lesson is full. So in the event that they're not able to join, you can tell them to go to Mathematics Resource Center and they can watch the live video there. All right.
Excuse me, so what are we doing first, miss?
Okay.
Are we
So we're
doing math
doing,
or we're just doing mental ability today?
go again, Khalifa.
Are we doing math today or are we just doing mental ability today?
It clearly says mathematics in the title.
All right. All right, so just a second. I'm about to answer you, Khalifa. Azrael?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Can you remind me of the expectations?
Yes, miss.
We're going to
Go
write.
ahead. Tell me as it relates to marking on the screen. Are you allowed to be marking on the screen?
No, miss.
Okay. And if we're asking a question, how do we do that?
We raise our hands.
Raise our hand. Beautiful. Thank you. So once again, welcome to our session here at Mathematics Resource Center. There's one more mark as well. Go ahead, remove that one for me. Well done. Thank you, honey. So welcome to our session here at Mathematics Resource Center. And today we're looking at ability tests, and we focus only on the math aspect of the test. All right, so we're looking at the ability test and we're focusing on the math aspect. I am Felica Hunter. You can refer to me as Miss Hunter, and I will be your math teacher for today, this and every Wednesday. I am happy to see all the beautiful faces, all of those nice smiling faces, nice handsome young men, and nice beautiful ladies. All right, so we are going to get started. And the first question that we have here is, thank you, Tibona.
Excuse me, miss. I must write off question one.
Write it off.
Excuse me, miss.
Write it off.
We ought to raise our hand first.
Next time.
All right, good. So, Sean Dale, you have a question?
Yes, miss. I was asking if we must write off question one.
Sure, go ahead and do that. Shara K, you have a question, darling? All right, Tomoy, Francis, you have a question, darling?
Miss, I have the answer.
All right, we're gonna come to the answer shortly. Yes, you should write off the question.
Miss, I have
All
a
right.
question.
Shana Reed, do you have a question, Derry? All right, Shara K, do you have a question there? Your hand is up. No?
Question.
Miss, I have a question.
Yes, Sarah K. So remember, darlings, you just need to raise your hand. As long as I see your hand raised, then I'll take your question. All right, go for Miss Sarah K. No question?
Miss, I was going to answer the question, miss.
Okay, I'm going to take the answer shortly. All right, Danny, do you have a question? Danny? All right, Khalifa? All right, Tori, you have a question?
Our camera is supposed to keep on, not off.
Oh, no, darling. For this class, your camera does not need to be on, all right? So you can keep your camera off if you want to keep it off for this lesson. Okay, Derry?
Yes.
Okay, my darling. All right. Tori, go ahead and ask your question there.
When is this going to be finished?
Go again.
When is this meeting finished? Going to be finished?
In 39 minutes.
Okay.
All right. All right. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to ask Khalifa, my darling, to go ahead and read this question for me. The first question.
Okay, miss.
Excuse me, miss.
Patrick has 2 square pencils. Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, but 12 less than Nadine. How many pencils do the two of them have altogether?
All right, so Patrick has 2 scores pencil. What do we know about scores? What does the word scores tell us?
It's a set of 20.
Yes, miss. A score
We
means
ought to raise
20.
our hand. We ought to raise our hand. So let's practice that.
I wanted
Yes,
to
Shauna
ask
Reed.
I wanted to ask you one question.
Go ahead, my darling.
If it's 93 participants in the Zoom, can any more other person join in?
Yes, the limit is 100.
The limit is presently 100, and we are at 100 right now.
Someone was trying to join in, but it says it reached to the maximum of 100.
Right.
We have
The
99
person's trying to
participants.
join, but they cannot join. All right.
Okay.
If someone drop off, then it will automatically let you in, but the limit is 100. Okay, Derry?
Okay, miss.
All right, my darling. All right, so we're gonna go with the question now, and I'll take the answer. I'll call your name directly, and that's when we unmute and we answer. All right, so the first person calling is Tashawn. All right, if I pronounce your name incorrectly, when you unmute, you can correct me as it relates to your name, the correct pronunciation.
My name is Tayshawn.
Thank you, my darling. So
My name
Tayshawn,
is
what does the
Sanaya.
2 scores mean, Tayshawn?
2 scores mean 20 because 1
All
score
right.
equals 20, so 2 is equal to 40.
All right, so 2 score is 20. So I say Patrick has 2 scores pencil. So there goes the pencil.
40.
So 1 score is 20 and 2 score is 40, right? So Patrick has 2 scores pencil. So there goes Patrick, and we know that Patrick have 40 pencil. All right. All right, good. So there's Patrick. And then it says Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick. Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick. So there is Phyllis. Nayoka, if Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, how much does Phyllis has, Nayoka? All right. So the next part of our question say Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick. All right. So here's Phyllis. There goes our Phyllis. All right. And if Patrick have 40 and Phyllis has 7 more, how much does Phyllis have? And that question is going to Nayoka. Go ahead, Nayoka. All right, so I'm gonna pass a question on to Omario. It's Omario. Omario?
Yes, miss. It's more.
All right. 47. So we add 7, and so that is 47. Well done, Omarion. All right, and the next part of the question says but 12 less. So Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, but 12 less than Nadine. So Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, which makes Phyllis having 47, right? And the next part says, however, Phyllis has 12 less than Nadine. If Phyllis has 12 less than Nadine, Leonardo, how much does Nadine have? So there goes our Nadine. How much does Nadine have, Leonardo?
35.
All right, so look at it again, Leonardo. So Patrick, right? So Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, right? And Phyllis have 47. If Phyllis have 47, So waiting for the marks to go from the screen. Thank you, my darling.
Excuse me, miss.
Just a sec. All right, Leon, Omaria, can you remind us of the expectation as it relates to writing on the screen?
You will get kicked out of the Zoom class.
Oh no, that's not the expectation, Leonardo.
Excuse
Did
me,
you say that?
Are we expected to be writing on the screen without permission?
No,
I
miss.
didn't, Miss. I didn't write on the screen.
I know you didn't. You're just reminding everyone. All right, so let's go again. So reminder. So let's go with the reminders. When do we answer a question, Omario? Omario?
Yes, Miss.
When do we answer a question?
We raise our hand.
We raise our hands.
Raise
Okay,
your
so that's
hands
answer a question. And when do we get the opportunity to unmute our mics?
when you acknowledge us.
All right. So now I'm acknowledging Omario to answer these questions. So Omario is the one answering the question, which means that Omario, everyone else microphone should be
Muted.
Ah, there you go, my
Muted.
darling. And do we write on Miss Hunter's screen?
No.
No, miss.
Yes.
All right, so we're still not practicing. So remember, these questions are going to Omario, and Omario is the only one that is answering. Omario's microphone is the only one that should be open because the questions are being directed to Omario. So let's go again. Now let's see if we can practice to get it right. Omario, so let's try someone else. Let's go with someone else. Amoya.
Can I go?
Amoya,
Yes, Miss Hunter.
when do we unmute our microphones?
When we are acknowledged.
Ah, there you go, my darling. And do we write on Miss Hunter's screen?
No, Miss.
All right. And I know that all my students here are smart, intelligent, really excellent students. So that means that you're all going to follow the rules, right? So I'm just waiting for my darlings who have made their nice little marks on the screen to just quickly erase that. All right, quickly. Let's see who can erase their marks the first. Let's see who can erase their marks first. Ah, that one went first. All right, so we have 2 more marks to go. 2 more marks. So we have 2 more marks to go.
I don't know how to erase the mark.
All right.
Miss, I can help her.
All right, that's okay. That's okay. All right, so moving forward, we know we're not supposed to be writing on the screen. All right.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so we had our 47, or 40 here, or 47 there. Good, so we add 7. And then there goes our lady, Nadine, right? And for Nadine, it says that Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, right? But 12 less than Nadine. And Leonardo, you gave us the answer to be 35. So I'm coming back to Leonardo. So Leonardo, go ahead and unmute your microphone for me, honey. And now it says that, yes, it says that Nadine, Phyllis has 12 less than Nadine. 12 less. So Phyllis has 12 less. 12 less? How much does Nadine have?
28, Miss.
All right, so think about it a little bit more. So Phyllis, so this is Phyllis now, right? And this is Nadine over here. And Phyllis have 47, right? And Nadine and Phyllis have 12 less than Nadine. Who have more? Is it Phyllis that have more or Nadine?
Nadine.
Nadine, Miss.
Leonardo? Yes, Leonardo?
Nadine.
Nadine.
Miss
Nadine.
Yes,
Nadine.
Leonardo?
So I didn't answer.
All right, so that means we're not following the instructions. So let's go again. Only person should be answering is a person who is asked to answer. All right, and I'll get to as many persons as possible. All right, so I'm gonna go to someone else, Leonardo, since
Miss,
I
can
have
I
eager
go?
participants. All right, Michaela, how much does Nadine have? Michaela? All right.
Miss.
Miss, can I go, please?
All right, so we're going to go down. Just raise your hand. I'll see your hand up and I'll call on you. All right. I'm going to go to Tamoy. Tamoy, how much does Nadine have?
Miss 38.
All right, so listen to the explanation again now. Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, but 12 less than Nadine. So Phyllis, hold on a second, I'm coming. Hold on a second. Just raise our hands. All right, my darling. So Phyllis has 12 less than Nadine, which means that Nadine, if I have 12 candies less than you,
Miss, who
it
is
means that you have
Phyllis?
more candy than I have. So
Miss,
it
who
means
is
that
Phyllis?
Nadine would have more than Phyllis. So Nadine have 12 more than Phyllis. So I'm going to take the next answer from Natasha. Natasha?
Miss, who is Phyllis?
35 pencils.
Here goes Phyllis. And this is Nadine. So Phyllis have 47. And they say that Phyllis have 12 less than Nadine, which means that Nadine have 12 more than Phyllis. I go with the next person. So it's not 30, it's not 35. Bianca.
Miss,
Bianca,
Yes, Miss.
how much does Nadine have? I come to you next, Elena.
She has 59
She has,
pencils.
all right.
59 pencils.
Well done, my darling. So she have 59. All right. So how many pencils do the 3 of them have all together? And I go with Elena.
Miss, my name is Eliana. They have
Thank you,
100.
my darling. So it is Elena. Go again for the pronunciation.
Eliana.
Eliana. Okay, a beautiful name. Go ahead, darling.
Thank you. So altogether, they have 146 pencils.
They have 146 pencils. All right, so we go ahead and we write down our answer. So all together, so we do our total. So we do our total.
Yes, Miss. Miss.
Total is 148.
48. 48, yes.
Is
Yes,
Oh,
pencils.
Miss, it's
Thank you.
104.
Miss is
Hold on. All right, let me
146.
check. 47 plus 59. It's 146, not 48. 146. All right. All right, so it's 146 pencils. Pencils. All right, good. All right, so for the other persons, so just a reminder that you can tell your friends, I see quite a few still trying to log on, that they can go over to YouTube at Mathematics Resource Center to join if they're not able to join here. All right, so we're going to continue.
Miss,
And yes, Theory?
can I ask a question before we continue?
Okay, is the question related to the question that we're doing now?
Wait.
No, Miss, it's related about the Zoom meeting.
Okay, would you like to ask it at the end of the lesson? You can stick around and ask me about it at the end.
Okay, Miss.
All
Miss,
right. And if
excuse me, Miss, I have a question related to this question, Miss.
Yes, go ahead.
Miss, it said Patrick, but less than Nadine, Miss, and you put 59. I would like to know how is that possible?
Right, so
Miss,
let's
can
read
I
it again
answer?
now. Let's read it
Can I
again
answer
now.
the question?
Phyllis
Miss, can I answer a
has,
question, please?
Miss
all
said,
right, hold on a sec. So let's remember, let's be reminded of our rules. So we raise our hand, all right, and we only unmute when we're acknowledged, all right. So it's one Miss Hunter and 100 students, right? That means that you're going to have to be polite, right? And we're gonna have to follow the rules. Okay, Darius? So you're really awesome students, exceptionally smart, and I know you know exactly how to follow instructions. All right. So let's see if we can practice that today. So that when I'm giving feedback to person's parents or to person's teachers,
Miss,
I can say that this student was exceptionally well in my lesson. She deserves a gold star. Okay, my darlings? All right. So Miss
Yes.
Hunter is going to go ahead and
Miss,
explain to the person who asked a question. So Phyllis has
Miss,
7 more than Patrick.
Miss,
One by two, let me go.
All right.
Miss.
So Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, but 12 less than Nadine. How many pencils do the three of them have altogether? So here goes Patrick. Patrick has 40. Phyllis has 7 more. So they're talking about Phyllis. So who we're talking about is Phyllis. So it says Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick, which means that Phyllis have the 40 that Patrick has plus 7, which gives us 47. Good. And it's still Phyllis that we're referring to. And we're saying now that Phyllis, but, so the but is still referring to Phyllis. So we're saying Phyllis has 7 more than Patrick. But at the same time, Phyllis has 12 less than Nadine. So it's you're there with your friends and you're talking about the extra money that you have, right? And you would say, and Patrick would say, I have 2 scores. And you say, okay, that's $50. And
Excuse me, Miss.
Phyllis would say now that so Phyllis would have 7 more than Patrick. But the amount that Phyllis have, even though Phyllis have 7 more than Patrick, Phyllis' money is still less than Nadine because Nadine have 12 more. In other words, Phyllis have 12 less than Nadine. All right. So that's the
Excuse me,
explanation. We're
Miss.
talking about Phyllis. So the
excuse
focus is
me,
on Phyllis. All right. So we ought to raise our hand. All right. Go for me. You're labeled 1JTFZZN.
Excuse me, Miss.
Go with your question, darling. All right. So we're going to go to the next question. Yes.
Manual Newton.
and your mic is not muted.
Manually Newton.
Excuse me, Miss.
All right. So we're going to go with this question. For the person who have a question to ask, so that person quickly go ahead and ask your question before we go with this question.
It's Sanaya Reed, Miss. I was asking you what was the topic that we're doing today because I'm new here.
Okay, so we're not doing a topic per se. We're looking at ability tests. So it covers more than one skill. So the first skill that we were looking at for this question is basically just, it's more of reasoning, right? For this question that we're about to look at, we'll be using square numbers. All right. Thank you, Jordan.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. Still waiting, Jordan.
This is me you're talking.
I'm talking to the person who is named, who is Jordan, who is on now. So Jordan, just quickly go ahead and clear your mark for me, honey. Thank you, Angelique.
Miss, can I ask a question?
All right, so one more question and then I'm gonna go with this question. All right, go with your question, that person, quickly go.
Miss, are all of these like on PEP? Is this based on PEP?
Right, and it's taken directly from your PEP textbook.
Okay.
All right, so we go with our question. This one, go for me and read for me, Tavia. Read for me, Tavia. Or is it Tavia?
Complete the blank one.
All right, so look closely at the pattern below and complete the blank one. All right, so what I want you to do now is to look at the numbers. The pattern doesn't have, is not focusing on the colors, it's focusing on the numbers. So I want you to look at the numbers and look at the number of, the number in each diagram. All right, before I go, Azrael, so while you count up all the numbers, Azrael, can you remind us of the expectation, darling?
I didn't get that clearly, Miss.
Can you remind us of the expectation? Should we be marking on the screen?
You should not mark on the screen, Miss.
And what else, Azrael?
You should ask permission, Miss.
Okay. And what will happen to the persons who are presently marking on the screen?
They will get kicked out of the meeting, Miss.
And will they get the permission to return to a lovely meeting like this with 100 students who are so nice? Will they get permission to return?
Miss.
Yes, Azrael? All right, so thank you, Azrael, for reminding us. All right, so now we're going to take the numbers. Kahim, let's say the numbers for the first diagram, Kahim. How many squares are you seeing in the first diagram?
It's Khalil, miss, but I'm seeing 9 squares.
It's seeing 9, okay? All right, so Khalil. All right, so I'm talking to Kahim now. Kahim O'Hara.
Khalil.
All right, so I take your answer, Khalil. So I'm talking to Kahim now. So there's a Kahim here, Khalil. So there's a Kahil, and there's a Kahim. All right. Yes, Khalil. That's okay, darling. So Kahim O'Hara, is that your name?
That's right.
All right. So let's go with the second one now, Kahim. How many squares in the second one?
Miss, I'm not seeing the screen.
You're not seeing the screen? All right, try logging off and logging on again for me, Kahim.
29, Miss.
Oh,
Miss,
oh,
if you log off, someone
Can I
will take your
answer?
screen
go for
and you
me
won't be
again.
able to join.
Can I answer?
So what face is this now? Is this the pleasant face, the nice, happy face? Look at my face.
Miss, frustrated.
Not frustrated, but the sad face, because Kahim is giving an answer and we're not giving Kahim the opportunity to. All right, so let's go with Kahim now. Go again, Kahim. How many squares are there?
29.
29. All right, so Kahim says 29. So I'm going to go to Matthew. Matthew, for this one here, how many squares do you see there?
For the third one, Miss?
For the for this one, okay, so let me label them. So that's 1, 2, that's for the third one, and that's for the fourth one. For in the second diagram, how many squares are you seeing?
25.
25. All right, thank you.
Someone was giving an
25.
answer, so you have to be quiet.
We're almost there. All right, thank you. So remember, we stay muted until our names are called. Okay, my darlings? All right?
Yes, Miss.
Acadia, this is your first warning, Acadia. And the next one would be that you're no longer a part of the group and someone else is taking your place. Okay, Acadia? And I don't want to lose it, Acadia. All right, so let's not write on the screen so we can stay in session. All right, Nefi, how many squares is in the fourth one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
81. Miss, I got 81.
A certain person is answering. Miss said you must mute your microphones when a person is answering.
All right. Daniela, how many squares are there in the fourth diagram, darling?
Miss, I can answer.
Can I answer?
So the
Are
only
your
person
names
who should be answering at
Daniela?
this time or should be unmuting their microphone is Daniela. Otherwise, if I don't get Daniela answer in about 10 seconds, I pass it on to someone else. All right. So I won't keep the answer at Daniela for long. So if Daniela does the answer, honey, I will pass it right on to the next person.
Miss,
All
I
right,
couldn't
Daniela, go ahead and
Miss,
answer for me, dearie.
Miss, it's 81.
It's 81. All right. So now we're looking at the third diagram. How many squares is there in the third diagram?
Miss, can I answer
That
that
question
one,
Miss,
please?
can I answer, please?
25.
Hayden, more.
And that question is going to Hayden.
Miss, the third square is 1.
Hayden, was that you answering, Hayden?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, and how many squares would there be in the third one? So
1.
you're supposed to be putting in. So the first one had 9, the second one is 25, the fourth one is 81. How many squares would be in here? How many would you put in here if you were supposed to draw it up? So you were expected to draw it if you were doing this on paper. So if you were drawing this, how many would you put in here?
25. Stop saying 10.
So think about it. All right, so in the meantime, I'm going to ask Alexandra Kerr. Unmute your mic, Alexandra.
45.
How many squares?
Miss, I have my answer.
Okay, you have your answer. Go ahead now, dearie.
115.
All right, so you say 115. All right, so let's talk about what's happening. So I'm not going to write it down, but we remember that you said 115. So let's talk about what is happening each time. So we're looking at square numbers, right? And the first square number is 9. The second one that we have there is 25, and the fourth one is 81. So let's write out all the square numbers that we have. Kelcia, Kelcia, go ahead and unmute your mic and tell me the square number starting with the very first square number. So the very first square number, tell me the very first square number. All right, so I'm going to move on to Sean. Okay, go ahead, Kelcia. Sorry, go ahead, Kelcia. So tell me the very first square number, darling.
3.
All right, so Kelsey said 3. What says you, coming back to you, Kelsey, what says you, Shondale, what is the very first square number? Not on the diagram here, but the very first square number in the square numbers that you have learned. So square numbers are numbers that you multiply by themselves. So to get a square number, so 9 is a square number, and to get 9, we multiply 3 by 3 to give us 9. 25 is a square number. To get 25, we multiply 5 by 5 to give us 25. Right? 81 is a square number. To get 81, we multiply 9 times 9 to give us our square number 81. So the very first square number that there is, what is that very first square number? It is smaller than 9. All right, so the very first square number. And Shondale, go ahead,
Could I
Shondale.
get it, please?
Me, miss.
All right, so I'm gonna ask.
Miss, can I have a try, please?
I'm gonna ask. So I'll come to you. I'm just looking, I'm randomly selecting names. All right, so hopefully your name is randomly selected, and I'm giving everyone the fair opportunity to be selected. All right, so I know you're eager to answer, and I would love to take everyone answer, right? But we need to keep our microphones muted, and because of that, I will randomly select someone. So keep your fingers crossed that Miss Hunter will call your name next. Okay, my darlings? All right, so the next person is Alicia. Alicia, can you give me the square numbers in order, starting with the first square number? All right, so I'm gonna move down to Lesa, L-E-S-A, Lisa. Can you give me the square number starting with the first square number? All right, so I go and I take my answer from Sarah. Sarah K, someone?
Yes, miss.
Go with the square numbers for me, the very first square number.
I forgot to leave the meeting and come.
All right, so I'm going to go to Leonardo.
Yes.
Go with the square numbers, Leonardo.
Yes, miss.
Go with the square numbers.
First
What's
is 1.
All right, so the first square number is 1. How do we get 1 as the first square number, Leonardo?
1 times 1.
1 times 1, so write it here. So the first square number is 1, and we got that by multiplying 1 times 1. Well done, Leonardo. Give me the second square number, Leonardo.
4, miss.
4, excellent, nice. All right. Michaelia Brown, give me the third square number.
Miss, the third square number is 9.
Awesome, you go, Michaelia. 9. All right, so we go to the next person, and the next person, Amoya, give me the fourth square number. Yes, Amoya?
Yes, can I have a chance in that position?
All right, so not 10. Let's go with Tashawn. Tashawn, give me the Tashawn. Okay, thank you, darling. Give me the next square number, honey.
The next square number is 16.
Awesome. You go, Tashawn. All right, so I go with the next person, Brigsbury. Let's go, Brigsbury. The next square number, honey. All right, so we'll go with the next person, and the next person is Alicia. Alicia, what's the next square number?
25.
Awesome. And the next person, Savannah. Savannah, what's the next square number?
36.
36. Well done, my darling. All right, so after Savannah, Antoine, what's the next square number, honey?
Miss.
Sorry, my mic was broken.
Miss 49.
49. Good. All right, so 49 is the next one. All right, so we'll go with the next person. And the next person is Teresian. Don't know if I pronounce your name correctly. If I don't, just give me the correct pronunciation. Teresian.
Yes, miss.
What's the next square number, Derry? All right, so we'll go with Tony. Tony, what's the next square number?
Miss, can I have a try, please?
All right, who's that asking for a try?
Eliana.
Liana, but I'm not seeing your hand up.
Miss, my hand is up in participant. Oh, yes, miss, it is up.
My mic was
Miss,
broken.
can I have a
Can I
try?
get a try, please?
Hayden Morris.
Hold on. Liana,
Yes, miss.
what is your title? Is there a name at your is your name there?
Yes, miss, it is there. It says Eliana Walmsley.
Eliana. All right, I'm not seeing you, but go ahead, Eliana. I'm not seeing you, my apology. All right, so go ahead.
The next square number is 64.
Are you the real Eliana Wamsel?
All right, so the next square number is 64.
No,
all right.
She's not. I don't.
All right, and the next square number after 64, go for me, Dorset.
Miss 81.
81, so 81 is there. All right, thank you, Dorset. All right, the next square number after Dorset, Zadie. So 81 is there. Zadie.
100.
100. All right, and the other would be 121 and 144 and 169, and we continue. So let's remember now how we find our square number. For the first square number, it is 1 times 1, which gives us 1. To find the second square number, it is 2 times 2, which gives us 4. To find the third square number, which is 9, we do 3 times 3, and we keep multiplying the numbers by themselves to get the square numbers. All right, so let's look at the pattern that we see here now. And let's look at the pattern clearly. The first pattern has 9 squares. Let's clear here. All right, so the first pattern, so we're looking at it now, have 9 squares. The second pattern have 25 squares. The third pattern, we don't know what the third pattern have, but we know that the fourth one have 81 square. All right. Sarah Perry, what would be the next pattern? Based on the pattern, looking at the numbers as we go, how many squares would be in the third pattern? Sarah?
Yes, miss.
Go ahead, darling.
There would be 49.
Awesome. You go, Sarah. So there would be 49. Sarah, would you like to tell me how you got your answer, honey?
They are finding the squares for the prime numbers in the set.
You're finding the
square number for the prime numbers in the set.
All right, so you're finding the square for the prime numbers. But I want to adjust that a bit because 9 right? So for 99, which give us 81, it is not a prime number. All right. So 99 is not, so we would just say prime numbers, but we could say odd numbers. All right. So not prime numbers, but odd numbers. Okay, darling? All right. So well done. So we'll go to the next question. Torian, first warning. Next one, out of the meeting. Very harsh, right? So first warning, Torian, quickly clear your marks for me, honey. If you still want to stay with Miss Hunter. Otherwise, Miss Hunter is going to be very mean, and Miss Hunter is going to take Torian out and put her out of the meeting and let someone else take that spot. So quickly erase your marks. In 5.
He's really adding more.
4. Thank you, Torian. Thank you so much, darling. All right, so we're gonna go.
He's doing it again.
Hi.
Question.
Miss, somebody is still writing on the screen.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and read for me. Darcy, go ahead and read this question for me.
Bricks, Bree, stop it, please. It's very
Miss
disrespectful.
question.
Can I read it, please?
Miss David's mother gave.
All right, hold on for me. All right, go for me now, darling. Go ahead now.
Miss David's mother gave him $200 to buy some carrots at the blue market. She will be using the carrots to make juice for her church barbecue on Friday. At the market, David finds 2 vendors selling carrots. Vendor A has carrots for $40 per kilogram, and vendor B has larger carrots for $50 per kilogram. Question. A. From which vendor should David buy the carrots? Explain why you have chosen that vendor.
All right, beautiful reading, beautiful reading, nice. Well done. And thank you to my participants who kept their microphones muted while my darling was reading. Well done. All right, so we're learning. All right. So I'm gonna ask Dejane, Dejanae, Dejane, to go ahead and tell me which of a person, so we're answering the first question, from which vendor, right? So we're buying carrots, right? And we want to know from which vendor should David buy the carrots? Dejane, Dejanae. If I did not pronounce your name correctly, correct me when you unmute your microphone, darling. And I'm going to pass the question on in 5, 4, 3, 2, and and
my answer?
Hayden?
Dejane? All right, and 1. Fabian, go ahead for me, Fabian.
Good afternoon. I would buy from vendor A.
You'd buy from vendor A. All right,
Yes.
so vendor A. So we
And the
have
reason,
vendor A.
and the reason for that, if I buy it from vendor B, it would be larger carrots. I'll be getting a smaller amount of carrots as opposed to a smaller amount of carrots for a larger amount of a larger cost, while from vendor A would be at a lesser cost and smaller carrots.
Okay. All right. So good explanation. Thank you. All right. So all right, so I'm going to take one more explanation. So one more explanation from someone else. So I'm going to go with Ariana Williams. Ariana Williams. Ariana?
Excuse me, miss.
All right, so we're not hearing Ariana, so I'm going to go
Excuse
with...
me, Miss Hayden Morris. I have a question.
All right. Go with your question quickly.
On the screen.
Go with your question, darling.
Oh, Miss, is my goal to waste all the money?
Go again.
Is my goal to waste all the money and buy carrots?
No, just try and get as much as you can because it's for a church.
I don't hear you. I don't understand. All right,
Mercy
just a second. I am about... Just a sec.
Buy carrot. You're supposed to use all of the money to buy the carrots or just some of it?
All right, so I've just removed one person, and that was really, really sad to see you go. All right, so if we want to stay in the meeting, all right, no marking on the screen, darlings. All right.
Miss, who did you remove?
All right, so we're still not following the instructions because we're not supposed to be unmuting our microphones. All right. All right, so let's go through the question. Let's go through the question. David's mother gave him 200 to buy some carrots at the blue market. She will be using the carrots to make juice for her church barbecue on Friday at the on Friday. At the market, David finds two vendors selling carrots. Vendor A has carrots for $40 per kilogram, and vendor B has larger carrots for $50 per kilogram. And we want to know from which vendor should David buy the carrots. So what we first thing that I want you to look at is that first thing that I want you to look at is that it's per kilogram. The both of them is selling the same amount but different price. So this is $40 per kilogram and $50 per kilogram. So one is selling, vendor A is selling $40 per kilogram and vendor B is selling $50 per kilogram. So if I buy 1 kilogram from vendor A is the same kilogram from vendor B. So it doesn't matter whether or not it doesn't matter whether I buy from vendor A or whether I buy from vendor B, because as it relates to this, the amount of weight, I'm getting the same weight, the same amount. And I would say we would purchase from vendor A because it's cheaper. And since we're doing something at church, we want more. So it's cheaper to buy from vendor A, and vendor A is giving me the same amount of carrots that vendor B would give me. So vendor B would be giving me some nice bigger carrots, but vendor A carrots are a bit smaller, but I'm getting the same amount as it relates to per kilogram. So if I buy from vendor A, how much kilograms of carrots would I get? So I have $200. So I have $200, right? And if I buy from vendor A, how much carrots would I get for the $200? So I have 200. Let's write vendor A.
Miss. Miss.
Let's write vendor A. So we're going to stay muted and just give Miss Hunter a chance to explain, all right? So I know that some of you is maybe a way ahead, but there are other persons who need a little bit of explanation. Okay, honeys? So let's give everyone the opportunity to learn something today, okay? So we're looking at vendor A and we're looking at vendor. We're looking at vendor A and we're looking at vendor B. So look at vendor A now. If I go with $200, how much carrots can I get for the $200? And that would be 200 divided by 40. All right, and that will tell me how much carrots I'll get, how much kilograms of carrots I would get. And then for vendor B now, good, it will be the same $200 that I have to spend, and we're going to divide it by 50. So vendor A, 200 divided by 40, and vendor B, 200 divided by 40, and vendor B 200 divided by 50. All right, so now we need to see how much carrots we'd get from vendor A and how much we'd get from vendor B. And I'm going to
Miss
say the first.
4.
Excuse me, miss.
4, Miss.
All right. So now I'm going to call on someone to give me the first answer. And at this point, when I call that person's name, then that person can unmute their microphone. All right. So our microphones are going to stay muted until we're answering a question. So I'm calling on that first person to give me that answer. All right. So I'm going to ask Brianna. Brianna, for vendor A, how much kilograms of carrots would you get? Go ahead, Brianna, unmute your microphone. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and
Excuse me,
1.
Can I answer?
All right, so Brianna.
Blah, blah.
All right, so Brianna, go ahead, Brianna. Brianna, you have your answer? All right, so I'm going to pass.
Work it out.
Okay, so we're dividing 200 by 40. So how many sets of 40 can I get from 200? So you go ahead and you divide. So let's do the division together for the first one. We're doing it here. You would get?
5.
All right, so there goes our Oops. So that is 5. All right, and then for vendor B now, I'm taking my next answer. And thank you, Brianna. All right, so I'm taking my next answer from
Miss Me.
Lester. Taking the next answer from Lisa. Go, Lisa.
Miss, can I try?
All right, so not hearing from Lisa. So I'm going to take the next answer from Matthew. Go, Matthew.
Can I answer, Miss?
All right, so if Matthew doesn't unmute in 5, is that Matthew?
Yes, Miss.
All right, go for me, darling. So we have 200 divided by 50. What would be your answer?
Miss, can I answer?
Say 4, Miss, because it's 50. I'll say 4.
All right, good. So 4 is correct. All right, so we have vendor A. and we can get 5 kilograms of carrot from vendor A. So we can get 5 kg from vendor A, and we can get 4 kg from vendor B. So when we're giving our explanation, and when we're asked to explain, we need to write in an explanation. All right. So when we're giving our explanation, what we're going to do is just work out our solution as we have done here. So we have vendor A and we have vendor B, and we work out our solution. 200 divided by 40, which gives us 5. And Demetrius, thank you. In 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, Demetrius, so it's bye-bye now, Demetrius. See you another time. All right. And 1. All right. So as I was explaining, right, we would divide the 200 by 40, and that tells me how much carrots I would get at vendor A, and divide the 200 by 50, and that tells me how much carrots I would get at vendor B. All right. And for vendor A, I got 5 kg, and for vendor B, I got 4 kg. So when you're explaining, you could say, even though we'd get bigger carrots at vendor B, right? But we're going to get more carrots from vendor A. And we are making juice with these carrots, so the size doesn't really matter. All right. We're just going to cut them up just the same and put them in the blender. All right. So I'll give you. We'll do one more question, and then we'll go. At this time, I'm going to allow Jardine. I'm going to ask Jardine to read for me. So Jardine, go ahead, Jardine, and Jardine only. All right, so Jardine is going to go ahead, and Jardine is going to go to unmute and read the question for me. Go for me, Jardine.
For every classwork given, a teacher gives 2 stars if the students get 90 and above, and 1 star if the students get 80 to 89. A student got 4 classwork and earned a total of 5 stars. Which of the following could represent his score?
All right. Thank you, Jardine. Beautiful reading. All right. So I can hear that nice leadership voice coming out. Jardine, beautiful reading. All right. Well done, Jardine. All right. So now I'm going to ask. So I'm giving you a minute to write the question down. So we're taking 1 minute to write the question down. All right. And then I'm going to tell you how I'm going to take the answers. All right. So I'm calling 3 names, right? And those 3 persons are going to give me their answer. And if either of those persons do not get it right, then I'll call another 3 set of persons for them to give me their answer. All right? So thank you again, Jardine, for reading for me. We're writing our question now. Go ahead, write down your question. All right? And the first person I will be calling on is Romario. So Romario, Regina, and Bianca. So Romario, Regina, and Bianca, I'll be calling on you to give me your answer. All right. And then if Romario or Regina or Bianca doesn't answer, then I'll put someone else in that slot. which means that no one should be saying me, miss, or can I answer? All right. I'll definitely give you an opportunity as long as we get enough questions in. All right. So 1 minute. So I'm counting down from 10 now. And when I get to 1, then that's your time now, Romario, to give me your answer. If Romario doesn't get it, then Regina. And if Regina doesn't get it, then Bianca. All right. And if I did not pronounce your name properly, when you unmute, just correct me politely and say, Miss, my name is. All right. Good, good. So in 10, so we should be writing, everyone should be writing, everyone should be writing and trying to figure this out. So in 10, 9, 7, 6. I apologize to the persons who have been messaging in the chat. I am actually just looking at the messages. My sincere apology. All right. On the Zoom, you should have an option so you can go to your your option bar, and there you should see an option that allows you to copy the YouTube link. So you can copy the YouTube link and you can share it with other persons who you would like to share it with. So I sincerely apologize for not seeing those questions and responding to those questions. All right. And again, if your friends didn't get to join, or you want to go and rewatch the video, you go over to Mathematics Resource Center. All right. And you will see the recording there and you get the opportunity to watch it. All right. And you can share with your friends and your family. And remember to subscribe to our channel so that every time we post a video, you'll be able to see it and you'll be able to benefit from the content that we post, which is entirely math content. All right. So we count down again to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So I'm going to go with Romaria first. But before I go with Romaria, I'm just going to read over the question. All right. So for every classwork given, a teacher gives 2 stars if a student gets 90 and above. All right. So it's 2 stars. So if you get 90 and above, which means 90 to 100, it's 2 stars. Good. And 1 star if the student gets 80% to 89. So if you get 80% to 89, then you get 1 star. A student got 4 classwork and earned a total of 5 stars. All right. Which of the following could represent his score? And I go with Romario first. Romario, go ahead.
Miss. Miss.
Oh, Romario said it is C. All right, so Romario said it's C. All right, I take the answer from...
Miss, your annotation is the red one?
So Romario said it's C. Romario, how did you get your answer?
I see 295 and 62. So I pick the one 295 and 62.
All right, so Romario, when you started speaking at first, we weren't able to hear you. So I'm going to ask you to go again. All right, so go again, Romario.
Means when you said 90 and 100, you get 2 stars,
And when you said 80 and 89, you get 1 star. So I see 295 and 62. So I'll pick the one with the 295 and 62.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well done, Romario. And we know that this is basically a trial and error question wherein we would be expected to look at the options and then select the correct options. So when we look at the first option A, if the person got 85, they would get 1 star. They got a 87, they would get 1 star, so that's 2 star. They got a 90, so that would just be 4 star for the first one. For the second one for B, they got a 90, so they got a 90, which is uh so 1 star. Students gets 82, 89. It is 1 star, so they got a 90, so that's 2 star, right? They got a 95, so that is another 2 star, right? 60. Oh, but C would be correct. C would be correct, Romario, because C B is a correct answer because C 100 is 2 stars, another 100 is 2 stars, and 95 would be 2 stars. So the total is 6 stars there, and the person got 5 stars. So the correct answer would be 90, which is 2 stars, 95, which is another 2 stars, 60, no star, and 95, which is 1 star, which gives us 5 stars in total. So that is the correct answer is B and not C. So the correct answer is B. All right, let's look at C now. Why C is incorrect. So the person, yes, they got the highest set of marks, but they did not get 5 star, they got 6 stars. And the question is asking for persons who got 5 stars. Who there would get 5 stars? All right, so what are the grades that would give you 5 stars? So when we look at C, the person got 100, so 100 is 2 stars. Clearing. So the person got 100, that's 2 stars. The person got another 100, that's 2 stars. The person got a 95, that's 2 stars. So in total, this person got 6 stars. And the total is supposed to be 5 stars and not 6 stars. So the correct answer is B and not C. But good reasoning, Romario, right? Good reasoning, because you were looking at it to say that is 2, and just that you didn't check that to say that that is 2. And that caught Miss Hunter as well. So guess what? We all make mistakes, all right? So don't worry about that little mistake, Romario, but good try. So the correct answer for this one is B. All right, so this brings us, we are over by almost 20 minutes. So that brings us to the end of our session today. We will have another session next week at 4 p.m. Wednesday at 4 p.m. same time. All right, and we will be looking at performance tasks next week. So last week we looked at ability tests. This week we look at performance tasks. All right, remember to join early because a lot of persons will be logging on, and we only have spot for 100 persons. All right, we might get the platform extended a bit so we can host more than 100 persons. All right, so we might get the platform extended so we can host more students, and if so, then maybe more persons will get on. All right, happy to see all the new faces, happy to see all the old faces like Leonardo and Andia, just to name a few. Happy to have you all. And if you're interested in being a part of our math class, we have a math class on Saturdays at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. All right. And if you're interested in being a part of our math class, you can contact me on this number. All right. So the number is on screen. You can write the number down, ask mommy or daddy or auntie to contact Miss Hunter. So it's 447-555-136-738. Or you can find me on Facebook, which is Falika Hunter. So you can contact me and I will be happy to discuss further relating to our class on a Saturday. All right, so our class on a Saturday, that would be a paid one. This one is totally free, so you can always share the link for this one, have your other friends join, and have them learn from what we do here. All right. And I am super proud of my students who were disciplined today, really, really disciplined. All right. And for the persons who need to work on themselves, I know you're going to go home and you're going to work on yourself. Remember that math is a fun subject. So go home, practice. All right. Share with someone what you learned today. Go over what you learned in your textbooks. All these questions were taken from your textbook. So go grab that textbook and go over what you did in lesson today. All right. See you again next week. Have a superb evening. And now I'm going to let unmute and then you can tell me bye-bye. All right. So I'm going to let you all say bye as you leave. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye, miss.
Bye, Miss.
Miss.
I have
I have
something to
one
ask
question,
you.
please.
Miss, I have a question.
Bye, Miss.
Bye, Miss.
Miss.
Bye, Miss.
All right. Just a sec. If you have a question, you can just stick around. So I think my awesome students just become not so awesome. Yes, Romario. Yes, Azil. Yes, Amoya. I still expect greatness from you, you know. All right. So if you have a question to ask and you want to, you can just stay on until the other persons leave, then you can ask a question. All right. So if you have a question, you can just stay. All right. Otherwise, you can go. Amoya. So I know that next week Amoya will be really polite and Brigsby will be really polite. All right. So bye-bye all.
Goodbye, Miss.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss.
Next
Bye-bye.
time,
Bye,
Miss.
Miss.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Bye,
Bye.
Alexandra.
Yes.
Bye, Miss.
Bye-bye,
Bye,
darling.
Miss. Bye,
Bye-bye, Miss.
Miss. Bye, Miss.
Bye,
Bye,
Derek.
Miss.
Bye-bye. Akede, you're staying with me. You're not leaving? All right, so I take it the other persons who are left are the persons who have questions.
Yes, Miss.
All right, so just give me a minute to stop sharing and then you can ask the question if you have questions. Just a second.
Miss, how do you know me?